My name is Ella Wilson, and I work at the corporate office, and my position is Accounts Receivables. Honestly, I have 2 sons, but adopted daughter, I have 3. Grandkids, I have 6 and about to have number 7 in a few months. Yeah, so they keep me pretty busy. Oh, and not to mention a little 4-legged kid, my son's dog. She definitely keeps me active. So yeah, so that's another little 4-legged grandkid. My main hobby is instilling into the next generation what my family has instilled in me. So right now I do a lot of support with my grandkids. My granddaughter, she plays basketball. My grandson, he plays football. I have another grandson who plays baseball. So in between supporting them, I don't have too many hobbies right now. So I guess my hobby would be supporting my family right now, yeah. I've been with Seraaj now ever since 2001. It started in January 2001. In 2001, it was at corporate, but at that time we was on Carmichael. But since then we've transitioned over here to Taylor Road. So yeah, I started over there for Carmichael. Honestly, I was in the market for employment. The previous company I worked with was no longer in business, and the unemployment office set up an appointment here. And I actually had my interview with Glenda Thomas. She was the first person, her and Linda Pauline was the first 2 people that I met here at Seraaj. And I guess in a sense, with me doing the interview with her, the first and the second one, probably did kind of introduce a slight bond or connection starting with her first, because she was the one who did the interview, and I guess they liked what they seen and they hired me, yeah. Well, when I started as a receptionist, and since then I have went from receptionist to data entry, to GPS facilitator, to billing team leader, and then now I am in this current position, which is Accounts Receivables. Basically, it's pretty simple. I just do invoices with the various programs that we have through the state and Medicaid, as well as the county. And I just make sure checks and balances pretty much. And if there's any issues, I have contact people that I reach out to and try to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. One of the things that I do admire about the company is how they adapt to change. That is very impressive. And I like how one of the things that Mr. Seraaj teaches us is that we either adapt or we perish. And since then, I've seen the company go from numerous, endless files and paperwork to just compact computers, just simplified it. And with the 21st century, was able to change and mimic to what was required during that particular year or decade. Times changes and things change so much. When I come in Monday, they might say, stop going east, we're gonna turn and go west or go north. So being able to adapt to change, it really makes a big difference nowadays. It really does. A lot of things that I see in this time, it wasn't like that 10, 15, 20 years ago. So it's a lot of things that we had to accept and, like I said, adapt to in order to keep the doors open, yeah. How the company has grown over the years has taught me how to grow as well. Rather than giving up, I had to rethink and then learn to grow. But like I said, I keep referring back to adapt, change. Just being willing to change. At least try, even if it doesn't succeed, it's not because you didn't try. And that's one of the things that I like, is that we do try. And if it doesn't work, then let's go back to the drawing board and try something else, instead of just giving up and saying we can't do this, And one of the things that came to mind is when we updated to the 21st century with the computers, we was here endless weekends, nights, trying to get everything to synchronize. And even though it didn't work out at first, we always had a plan B, and we kept trying. We stayed on the phone. We stayed questions. We just kept trying to figure it out until we finally got it worked out. The maze, it was complicated. It was very tedious, but then at the end, it was worth it, because here we are. Yeah. I would say one of the things that we'll have to do here, if you're going to work with this type of company, you have to have an understanding that what we do here, it's not about you. We're helping others. We're helping others to feel safe, to feel belong, to just be loved and taken care of. So it's not about me, myself, as far as being in the spotlight, as it is about putting what I think and what I see aside and doing what's best for our kids, or as far as our clients, our customers are concerned. So it's all about being able to tailor and actually rethink. Sometimes what I've seen compared to what I was raised up with is two different things. They're very similar, but in a way it's different. We see things different. But when you come here, you have to look at what is best for the person. So yeah, I would say that is one thing I had to learn, is put self aside to take care of the needs and what is best for others. One thing that always stuck in my mind when I first started working here and understanding what the organization was all about, and seeing what we do here, what causes me to be at my best when I walk through these doors is that at any given moment in any of us lifetime, it could have been me. A slight twist of fate, something out of control, had no control over, could have caused me to be on the other side, of this company as far as being a client. And so that's one of the things that really sticks in my mind, is what we do here is a good thing. And what we do here is a positive thing, and it has a lot of spiritual meaning. And when you see the end results, it start off kind of a little bit rough, but to see the end results make it worth it. So every day that I come in here knowing that there's somebody out there that is depending on what I do for their sake. And there's nothing more precious than a human life. So when I do what I do and I think about it, I get tired, I get frustrated, get irritable, I always refer back to that, you know what, this could have been you. Or it could have been my kids or my grandkids. Because there's a lot of distractions out there nowadays that cause people to lose sight of who they are or the things that they accomplish. And when those blows hit, it can be devastating. And some people, they just can't recover, And I know we look at things like, oh, well, they could do this and they could do that. You really don't know. You really don't know what somebody's going through until you have endured it yourself. And so I used to be, honestly, judgmental. Oh, this, who could do this, this to a child, or da-da-da-da-da. But the more and more I learned, and the more I worked and got involved, a twist of fate. And then a lot of times, a lot of these things happen through no fault of their own. It's no fault of their own. It's no fault of your own that your parents got in an accident. It's no fault of your own that, your parent trusted somebody and they gave them something that made them sick, or they couldn't stop a bad habit and it led to something more severe. It's through no fault of your own. And when you look at it through different eyes like that, you come up with a different perspective, and you start looking for ways where you can help and heal instead of judging, you know? And so that's one of the things that really, really helped me, is that this could have been me. So I always take that in consideration whenever I'm doing something, to put my best feet forward, because I know somebody is depending on me. Even if I never see them, never talk to them, never get to know them, I know I'm making a difference. And that's what it's all about. If you ever decide to get into this profession, like I said, make sure you're not here for the spotlight. Make sure you're willing to put in the work, make the sacrifices, because somebody's depending on you to do that. You know, this business exists because the person that was supposed to protect and care for couldn't or didn't. And just remember, everybody wants to feel like they have a place where they belong, be accepted, be comfortable, be loved, be safe. So even if it's not from that blood family relative, let them know that it's coming from somewhere. And even if you never see the faces, you know, never put a name with a face, just know that something good is coming out of this. So if you're gonna get into this profession, make sure you're gonna leave self at the door every morning. You got to leave self outside. You got to leave your emotions outside, because your emotion will drive you to act in a negative way where you might think you're helping someone, but actually you're hurting them. So you have to be careful about how you distribute your emotions in this business. So that's one of the things I would let people know. If you're coming into this profession, you know, leave self at the door and come on in and know that somebody else is depending on what you do. Well, I was born and raised on the outskirts of Montgomery, in a little community. Mainly I grew up being surrounded by seniors, family, friends, neighbors, and we all grew up in the same environment. It was like country living, country style living. And I grew up around people who didn't mind working. They didn't expect things to be given to them, they earned it. And we learned a lot of morals, values, standards, a lot of things that you really don't see in today's society. And that's one of the things that I base my foundation on, is what I've learned from being around seniors and being around family members. So I would like to say that I brought that in with me to help establish a foundation here. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to stay as long as I did, because when you have standards and morals and values, you can't help but to express that. And people, when they see that, they can determine, you know, whether or not you're somebody that can be trusted and relied upon. And one of the things I also learned to do was, whatever I do, do it well. You know, if I'm going to do this, put my best effort forward and let the work speak for itself. Well, doing it in my personal life, like I said, with the family that I grew up with, watching the strength, watching the determination, perseverance, you know, watching them go through hardship, but still, you know, come out strong and better than when they went in. So that was something that I already had within me, but to see it with people that was not family, to see it with coworkers, to see it with, you know, people that I didn't know, and to say, hey, you know, yeah, we can pull together. We are a team. We can make it work. So you do your part, I'll do my part, and then we'll come together. So I still try to instill that in everything that I do. I instill that in my family, which is the next generation, and hopefully they'll see the results like we did. Yeah, I've gotten more support here at this company than I have at any other organization in the past, because a lot of the places that I've worked at previously, it was all about the bottom line profit. It was all about, okay, I understand that you're sick, but can you still come in? I understand, you're having family issues, but can you still come into work? But here it is totally different. This is the first place I've ever worked where it's really for family oriented. I have worked at other places where I brought my son into work, but not like where he could stay all day, one day to the next. Nobody says anything, pretty much pick him up from school whenever needed, or if someone calls and I have to leave, I'm covered. I don't have to, leave and come back or anything like that. It is very family oriented. And that's one of the things that I really like about it, because he understands life goes on beyond the company. A lot of life goes on beyond the company. And I appreciate the fact that they understand that and give us room to handle our family, which for me, it makes it comfortable and easier for me to come in and to do my job, because I know if I have to leave or if something happens with family, they would give me the time that I need to take care of that so I can come back and devote my mental status, physically, spiritually, into doing my work. So yeah, I would say they have supported me through some hardships. Yeah. Unlimited budget. So much here at the company is to expand knowledge, to take what I have learned here and to instill it throughout the world, because you'll be amazed at what people don't know. I still be out and about. I keep business cards with me because I be out and about, grocery stores, service stations, or whatever. And I get to talking to people, and it's like, what do you do? Either I wear one of the shirts, Seraaj shirts, and it's like, what is Seraaj? Is that a nursing home? Or, because they see Seraaj Family Homes, and the first thing stick out is home. What y'all build homes? What y'all do? I said, well, we don't so much as build homes, but we do build foundations, in a sense. And then that opens up a door. And I remember one lady, I was walking out on the sidewalk, and it was like this phone company. And she's like, oh, what kind of phone service you got? Da-da-da. She was trying to sell me a phone. And I was like, no, I do more than that on my phone. I do this. So we got in a conversation, and it led to her asking, what do I do? The reason why I do so much business on my phone. And I told her, and she's like, oh, wow, are you serious? I was like, yeah. She was like, I was interested in becoming a foster parent and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so I ended up giving her a card, and we ended up stopped talking about her selling me a phone and started talking about the company. And that was just amazing. So one of the things I would love to do, because when I tell people what we do, it is highly respected. I mean, seriously, when we tell people what we do, keeping kids safe, trying to keep families together, they really respect that. And then they, for some reason, feel comfortable enough to open up and kind of share some of the things that they've endured. I've talked to so many people who have been through foster care or have stayed with a family member, and they didn't understand what was going on, or why. Only thing that they knew is that I had to stay here, or they took me from, and I'm angry, and I don't understand. I'm a kid. Why all these people forcing me to do what I, to make me go here or stay there or whatever. So one of the things I could do is bring knowledge to people about a new understanding and a new way of seeing foster care, because it's way different from Little Orphan Annie. Yeah, it's beautiful, little musical and all that stuff, but no, it's more to it than that. And I would really like for people to understand that. And because when they do the little bit that I can give them, they want to give back. They want to give back. And that's a beautiful thing. It's really nice. So if I had an unlimited budget, I would make everybody knowledgeable about, foster care and adoption. Possibly have a place where they can come and volunteer and do various things, however they can, whatever they want to do. And it doesn't have to be a permanent dedication, but if you can just come in one day a week and give some positive outlook or some positive training, or help serve lunch or whatever, that'll be great. So yeah, one of the things I would do is to put some knowledge out there. For the work that I do. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not all pretty. I have my good days and my bad days. Just, I guess, remember me as the person who, put their best feet forward, and always try to be truthful, honest, helpful whenever I could. I can be angry. I can fuss. My kids will tell you I'm one of them. I can fuss for days. But at the end of the fussing and the anger, they know I'm right there to support them. And to know that I always want to see you at your best. And that's why I do fuss. And that's why I do be hard on you, because I want to see you at your best, So just remember me as a person who's being honest, and I always want to see you at your best.